Hello, Lance here again with Autobiography Writing Secrets, and this is episode number 4. This is where we're going to go into the third of 6 sections of the autobiography questions. In total, we have another 400 questions for this section, and it's only for the ages of 30 to 35. Now, how we got there, or for those of you listening, we went, if this is your first episode, for those of you listening, we went through the 6 phases of human life, and the first one was dependency and how will I survive. That was human development level number 1, ages 0 to 19. And number 2 was personal power, how do I establish myself in the world. That was human development level number 2, which was yesterday, from the age of 20 to 30. And today it's going to be number 3, belonging. Where do I fit in? And this is the age between 30 and 35, human development number 3. The other 3 here are deep self-awareness, life mission, and self-acceptance, which we will go in the next 3 days. So these are, for those of you listening, I'm displaying 40 different topics that will be on this particular set of questions. And well, the questions will actually come from this particular set of topics. These 40 topics, for example, for the ages of 30 to 35, I'll just name off like the first 4 or 5 here. Career goals and aspirations, personal relationships, including romantic relationships and friendships, personal growth and development, health and wellness, including physical and mental health, finances, including saving, investing, and budgeting. So those are like the 5 of the 40, and we're going to look at those today as well quickly, just so you get some idea what it looks like. And again, it's going to be like yesterday, as we explained it. It was like a spider web. So here, for those of you listening, I'm looking at the computer screen, and in the middle of the screen is a box that says Human Development 3 and ages 30 to 35. So it has these little plus signs. When you click on them, it spreads out like all these legs, and at the end of these legs, here, let me zoom out. Ooh, it does a little flickering. You can see how big this is, but at the end of each one of these legs is something you can click on, and it represents each of those subjects that we just went over. So we'll just go over the first 5 here that we just mentioned. Let me zoom in so you can see what it actually says. All right, so the first one is career goals and aspirations. So click on the right. Oops, that's a little too far. Can't see all the questions. Click on each plus sign here for this particular subject, career goals and aspirations, and it comes up with, in this case, 15 questions. So I'll just read off the first few questions here just so you can have some idea, especially for those listening. How do you envision your career progressing at this time? Again, this is for career goals and aspirations subject. What are your career goals and aspirations when you were between the ages of 30 and 35 years old? The next question, what motivated you to pursue your goals at that age? Could have been maybe some family pressure. It could have been maybe you were already in your job by that time and you wanted to make a different pay grade, so you worked hard. It could be anything. Were there any specific challenges or obstacles that you faced in your career during this time period? Let's say between ages of 30 and 35. You could have been getting married, maybe getting divorced. Could be a lot of things during that time. How did you go about achieving your career goals during that time? You can answer that question if it applies to you, just like the rest of the questions for this particular topic. So let me just quickly go through to the next subject here. Personal relationships, including romantic relationships and friendships. So if you're reading these and you're trying to understand someone and maybe how they got married or found the person that they did marry at that particular time, this particular topic has lots of questions. Again, these are only starter questions. once you ask the person the question and they say something else that might not be related to any of these particular 15 questions, then you can just go down that rabbit hole. And that way people can follow the story that best represents that part of their life. So this is like the most exciting part, I think, about this, is that you have 15 starter questions. Again, the next topic here is personal growth and development, and you have another 15 questions. These are just starter questions again. Personal growth and development. All right, let's go through a couple of the questions here. What were your goals for personal growth and development when you were between 30 and 35 years old? Well, in my own personal experience, I don't know if I really thought about it that much because, well, actually, I had just gotten out of the military in my early 30s, and I was starting a new business. Oh yeah, and I was getting in the middle of a divorce. So yeah, there was some definite personal growth at that time, personally for me. Maybe for the person that's being interviewed or reading these questions or answering these questions may not have had the same life experience. All right, let's see. Let's go down here. Were there any specific challenges or obstacles that you faced in your personal growth and development during this time period? Oh yes, definitely. How did you overcome these challenges? Oh, wow. Well, I won't go into that here, but anybody who's ever had a divorce can understand that was it's a challenging time in life, especially when I had 2 little children involved, so it was even more challenging. All right, so let's do another one here. Health and wellness, including physical and mental health. All right, so let's have a quick look at, another 15 questions here that you can ask about this particular topic. And so this goes on and on for the rest of those 40 topics. Okay, so how do you prioritize your health and wellness while you were between age 30 and 35? I personally, let's see, how would I answer this? Personally, I was going through that difficult part of my life. So I discovered that if I rode my bicycle a lot, it'd help relieve some of the mental thoughts that I had, because I was just constantly going through this divorce. Lasted for me like 4.5 years. So it was a challenging one. So I would ride my bike a lot, and I did prioritize my health. I had like this juice machine, and I was eating healthy, and everything that I wanted to do was focused around health, because mentally and emotionally at that time it was challenging getting out of the military, changing a job, and I was starting businesses, and it was kind of a crazy time. So I definitely focused on my physical aspect to get through some of those challenges, and I read a lot of books, and I think that was really helpful for getting to understand myself. For example, if I was answering this question, I could say I read the book called The Road Less Traveled, and it kind of broke down the parts of my life at that time that it kind of organized what I was thinking and feeling, and it just helped me get some clarity, I think, about myself and what I wanted to achieve. So, all right, so I don't want to go through all the topics at this moment, but the next one would be finances. There's another 15 questions here. Finances, including saving, investing, and budgeting. But this is how it works. It's another, in this case, I don't know if there'll be 15 questions per, but there'll be a minimum of 10, which means there's 40 topics. And if you have a minimum of 10 questions, you're going to have at least 400. In this case, there's been 15 questions for every single one so far. So that means you're going to have at least 400 questions that you can ask for just this time period to help guide you through that period of life. So that way you can't really get lost. Even if you go down the rabbit hole, you can just come back to these questions, and then you can stay on track. So tomorrow I will go into level number 4, and it's a much larger. Let me just quickly go back to it. It's a much larger span of time. Let's quickly go down to it. it is from the age of 35 to 45. So instead of being 5 years, it's another 10 years at this point. And there will be another for a minimum of 400 questions. So we'll just quickly do the same thing we did today. You can see the topics, and then I will go through a few just so you can see it. And at the end, you'll be able to see all of them, and they'll be put into, if you don't get them this time, they'll be put into a course for you so you can go see it. So, all right, that's all I have for today. And this is level, or human development level number 3. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.